Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at the Asus ROG Zephyrus G15. Now this is the brand new model, just shipping now and arriving, just got mine today. Excited to share it with all of you. This specific build retails for around $1,800 US, but it may be $1,900 depending on who you buy it from. And it really seems to be one of the best overall packages, in my opinion, when it comes to the processor, which is the AMD Ryzen 9 5900HS 8-core chip, which, if you don't know, now you do. And then we've got NVIDIA's 3070 Max-Q design GPU under the hood. Now, bear in mind, officially, Asus didn't say that it's the Max-Q, but everything I'm reading points to that it is. The 15.5-inch display is a 165 Hz QHD display, but the beautiful thing is color accuracy. From what at least I've read and seen, the claim is 100% DCI-P3, so for me as a content creator, another big benefit, 16 gigs of RAM and a 1 terabyte NVMe drive. One thing you need to know is the RAM, at least one of the two DIMMs, is soldered, and that is disappointing. So in other words, the max that you can actually end up getting out of this is a total of 48 gigs, because 8 of those gigs is permanently attached to this. So I did pick it up from Best Buy. I was shocked that it was actually in store because ship dates were later. Let's take a look at what we've got here. And so far, at least the machines that I have been looking at, this was always on my radar, but as far as it being the one that I would actually end up selecting, I wasn't sure about that. Now, the first thing you can see, Republic of Gamers. Of course, this has been, Asus's brand now for quite some time for the gaming sphere. And the reason we're getting the Max-Q variant here, rather than the full-blown Super, essentially, is because, or I should just say 3080, is because this is a thin and light gaming laptop at the end of the day. By the way, no webcam with this beast, which, some may find to be a head scratcher. I personally don't take major issue with that. I'm going to actually do this. It is capable of taking a charge at 65 watts, for those of you that are wondering. Well, these are a lot of empty boxes, aren't they? But, so I guess the power brick is on this side. But the brick itself is a 90 watt brick, and fast charging capability is impressive. They're claiming, I believe it was 50% in 30 minutes. So, I mean, if this can really do it in an hour, that's pretty amazing. And then it is capable of 65 watt charging, trickle charge. You're not going to get full performance out of this machine, but that's still a really nice feature to have. So, yeah, there's some paperwork in there, but let's take a look at this thing. I know that's what all of you are waiting for, myself included. So I'm expecting great build quality, but without further ado, let's get the plastic off of it, and just gonna slide it out of there. Not gonna be satisfying for those of you that are into ASMR, but try to do my best here if I could. Yeah, this is not working out well at all. I'm known for my unboxings. Anyway, so I believe it's a magnesium alloy build, and that's what it feels like, aluminum combo. So very clean looks, subtle. This is the gray. There's also a white color. You can see the branding right there for the actual ROG, Republic of Gamers, established 2006, and the logo. I mean, I have a lot of Asus products, or Asus, depending on how you pronounce it, from, fantastic displays, motherboards, all sorts of components, GPUs over the years. Laptops hasn't really been one of them. So this is going to be an interesting experience, especially that it's this AMD and NVIDIA GPU marriage. But right now, it's one of the few times in computing history in general where you are really getting a true refresh in every regard. Not just the CPU, but the GPU and the display. So let's start off with I/O. Why not? You're looking at a Type A USB port, micro SD card slot, which for those of you that follow my channel, you know it's a must-have. I believe they were claiming that it's high speed, so over 300 megs a second. We'll see what that really amounts to. Ventilation, which is another important thing about this machine, at least that's the claim. Your Kensington lock, back of the machine, we've got more ventilation, and it is really amazing if this benches and performs the way I anticipate, that they were able to get it into such a well-made, at least feeling machine. And also from a design perspective, even though I still haven't cracked it open, the design cues for me are fantastic. It strikes the right balance of what you would want in a machine like this, at least personally. Ventilation here, again, the power port for that rapid charger that, again, is 90 watts. HDMI out. Now, it's spec'd at 2.1, which is part of, again, the allure of all of the brand new hardware you're getting here. But I did see on Asus's site 2.0B. If that's a wash, and maybe it is, and I'm brain farting, so be it. Ethernet, of course, another Type A port, and then we have 2 Type C ports. Now, because this is not an Intel machine, I will miss Thunderbolt 3 on it, or 4, no question about it. But these are 3.2. They're still going to be completely competent, capable, and you do have one that is capable of both, of course, power delivery as well as DisplayPort out, 1.4 compatibility. Headphone, microphone jack combo. No webcam on this thing, which is weird, but I don't really care because I have so many devices that I can use. That's the least of my worries. So the machine's finally open. Clap your hands. Let's remove this. Stickers, never liked them, but really tough to escape them. The trackpad is 20% larger. That's per Asus, at least from previous gen. The machine got a little bit smaller. Speaker performance is one of the areas I'm a little bit concerned about. I'm not expecting amazing speaker performance, but then again, I mean, that's also not high on my to-do list. The keyboard, chiclet style, seems nice. Good, travel on these keys. It's a thin and light, if you will, 15.5-inch little workstation. So I wasn't looking for a numerical pad. I mean, not a fingerprint magnet, looking good. Again, I really like this gray color. Let's go for a power on. And if you didn't notice, the hinge, I hope we have power. If not, I will just throw a 65 watt on there. The hinge for the display itself does elevate the machine. All right, so it looks like we don't have any power. Interesting. Asus, what are you thinking? By the way, all your activity lights right there. So charging, SSD, activity, etc., all there. And this is a completely RGB backlit keyboard. I believe individual key assignment is a thing too. Dedicated volume right here, of course. Muting of the mic, jumping into Asus's own software suite for the system. Let's grab a 65 watt and see what's up, because I am not going to actually hook up the proprietary brick, and let's see if we can get this to power on. It's showing charging, so let's get a first boot. Come on. And I am really excited. I mean, part of the appeal for me here is that the matte display, 15.5 inches, pretty much the most desirable, even though I've been dabbling with some 17-inch monsters. This is going to give us a 165 hertz, as I mentioned, 1440p display that, at least on paper, sets a new standard with its color accuracy. So you're getting really the best of both worlds. Would I love 4K? Sure. Would I need a 3080? Absolutely. And here we go. So I'm going to open this up as much as possible without picking up too much lighting here. That looks like you're going to get a decent view. And unfortunately, what we're going to hit now is Windows, right? But what can I do about that? This is part of the deal. I believe there is a second NVMe slot on here for an SSD. So you better believe if this ends up being my go-to machine, I'm going to throw another drive in there. Even though we've got 1 terabyte, I'm not...
Hi there.
I did not...
I'm Cortana, and I'm here to help.
Speakers aren't as bad as
Sign in here,
they
touch a
really
Wi-Fi
could have
there,
been.
and we'll have your PC ready for all you.
I think that, what I have to do now is obviously sink my teeth into this thing, see what performance is like, see what benchmarking is like, see how it performs. As always, when I'm speaking of a class of a machine like this, video editing, 4K video editing at that. I also want to see how it performs in general tasks. I'm not in love with the fact that, that 8 gigs of RAM is soldered. The cooling on this machine is supposed to be phenomenal, so hopefully throttling is not an issue either. But either way, build quality looks great. The I/O is fantastic. I mean, again, I will miss, I'm going to, one more time, bring up Thunderbolt because I've got a lot of NVMe storage that is external, and, not having that 1+ gig of throughput is something I will miss. But if it can be made up for here, I do still have other workstations that, of course, support Thunderbolt 3. So this could still be the king of the hill. And it really is, I'm calling it a unicorn because of all of the elements that bring it together. And if you've been looking at a machine like this, then you already, and eyeing it as I have for months, basically since CES, then you already know what you're getting yourself into. So, I mean, for streaming, gaming, video editing, anything pretty much. And then battery life, something I didn't even mention here. To my knowledge, it's estimated at like 14 hours. But let's be real. If this gets 8 or 9 hours and it has this sort of gaming capability, I don't expect to get that, gaming, of course. But just to be this powerful of a machine, then they've done an amazing job. And again, it's a really sharp looking piece of hardware with great internals on paper. So I'm excited to see how it stacks up also against the main gear system that I recently unboxed. That is a 2060, but it's a super. And I've also got another one with a 2070, also a super. So we're going to see how that compares to this. The Lenovo P17, the ThinkPad, well, that's an RTX, that's a Quadro 5000 with 16 gigs of RAM. So not going to enter into this sphere, obviously, and that's not meant for gaming, even though you can make the argument that that's a 2080, essentially, with 16 gigs of RAM. But it'll be very interesting to see the AMD processor complementing the GPU here. What happens, again, for me, for video editing, photo editing, and just how it changes workflow if it does smoke those machines, as it does, at least in synthetic benchmarking. So I'll keep all of you updated. I know this unboxing wasn't meant to go this long, but it's an exciting product. I mean, when you think about it, having all of these things, again, in a single build, that, everything is new at once. And I think price is also where it strikes a good point. By the way, if you didn't pick up the little rainbow pattern there, I'm trying to make it happen on camera. Doesn't seem like I'm catching it, but either way, no. But it's nice, okay? It's understated, but still gives you an air of being a little bit different. There you see the LEDs are active when the actual machine is closed, which is smart as well. It just seems like Asus put the thought into this, and again, all of the hardware lined up. A bright spot in the pandemic of 2020 now into 2021 is for the first time being able to buy, as I've said over and over again, a machine with brand new everything, even cooling. So, no webcam, but boy, this laptop has everything else. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. Hit that like button. And as usual, please feel free to subscribe and please stay safe. Later.